What is up, everybody? White Lightning HOD here with another video and another sneak peek, and today's video is going to be a little bit on the fast side, not because of the time, but because of the haste spell. Alright guys, now we're going to be looking at some examples of the haste spell. As you can see, the heist spell is on the bottom. It's that little red-pink one. And it accelerates a troop a hell of a lot faster. I think it's like 2 times faster. I don't know the exact math behind it. But as you can see, it does make the troops go way faster than a rage spell does, and that is a maxed haste versus a maxed rage. And here, we'll check out it again. Max will throw down some balloons, and as you can see, it's a hell of a lot faster. But the thing with the haste spell is that it doesn't like make the troops any stronger. As you can see with the rage spell, it basically makes the troops bigger and they do more damage. And they have more defense, but the haste spell just makes them go faster. Here's another example with a little bit of balloons on the top of this max base. The haste spell is going to push the balloons very, very quickly towards that air defense, but it's not going to make them stronger or do more damage. So that's kind of the thing about the haste spell, is that it does make the troops go faster, but in my opinion, it's not going to be the most useful spell. I mean, just because your troops get in a little bit quicker doesn't mean that they're going to do like more damage to the base. It just means that they're faster. So that, you know, when a bunch of defenses are pouring down on them and they're getting stuck on certain buildings, their speed isn't going to matter when, you know, they're attacking and their defense isn't as strong as it could be with the rage spell. And as you can see with the haste spell, the range is a lot smaller than the rage spell. So here, okay, here's an attack. Here's a Lavalunian attack on this base, and this is basically Supercell made this spell in an attempt to basically balance out Lavalunian now that there's 2 air sweepers, and they're like, oh, this is going to help a lot, and that's what all the other YouTubers are saying. They're like, yeah, this is going to help with Lavalunian and Lunian, and in my opinion, it's not going to do shit. And this is the example they give us. As you can see with this base, it is a max base. This layout was used over a year and a half ago by everybody. Easiest base to take out ever. The expos are face down, and the air sweepers are pointed both the same direction towards the bottom of the base, and then they attack from the top with Lavalunian, and they're like, yeah, look how good it does. Look how good Lavalunian does with the new haste spell against 2 air sweepers. Well, it's like, yeah, because the fucking air sweepers weren't even pointed at the attack. So that is the new Dark Elixir haste spell. Now let's go talk about how I feel about it. Alright, so honestly, I think the haste spell, it's a good idea. It's got a good concept behind it. I think it'll be fun to play with in the game. And it's nice to have another spell. Okay, so this spell, the good thing about it is that although it doesn't, like, you know, it's not as good as a rage spell in the sense that it doesn't, you know, boost their health or their damage, but it does make them go a hell of a lot faster, and you can hold up to 11 of them, because remember, Dark Elixir spells only take up 1 space. So with this haste spell, you could bring, like, you know, a good amount of, you know, lightning and rage spells along with a ton of haste spells. You can have a really, really good mix of spells in your comp, and it can definitely help a lot during an air attack or attack in general, because it just makes the troop go faster. So, I mean, the haste spell is an awesome idea, and I like the fact that, again, it's only 1 housing space. But I don't like the fact that they're trying to use it as a justification against the second air sweeper, because, in my opinion, this game does not need a second air sweeper. Just because there's a new level dragon doesn't mean that, you know, okay, we need to bring a whole another fucking air sweeper in the game. But again, that's not really my decision. That's Supercell's decision. But, you know, in the end, I really don't have much say in it. But my opinion on it is that I don't think the haste spell is going to help out Lunian or Lavalunian, because, alright, if you've ever attacked a maxed base or a high-level base in general with Lunian or Lavalunian, which I have done, like, every freaking day, remember that I'm, like, you know, one of the founding fathers of Town Hall 9 Balloonian, right? Like, I'm an OG on this shit. And I've used, like, Balloonian for a long, long time, for, like, a year and a half, 2 years. So, you know, I know when it works and when it doesn't work, and, I mean, if you would use it against an air sweeper base, it's hard as, I mean, just because the air sweeper is a small-ass defense, but if it's placed right, and if you attack from the wrong angle, you're gonna get screwed in an attack, because the air sweepers, it's so good against air attacks. I mean, it doesn't do any damage or anything, but it pushes the balloons and stuff back, and it basically delays your attacking troops long enough for the defenses to really go to town on your troops. So if there's 2 of them, I mean, 1 air sweeper is a pain in the ass, but it's not that big of a problem, because you can just attack from the other side of the base, because with Lunian and Lavalunian, you have to attack not from 1 side, but usually from 2 sides of the base, like 2 angles going in, right? And usually with 1 air sweeper, there's, you know, 2 sides open, 2 or 3 sides of the base open for you to attack, because you just basically attack the side that it's not facing, and then it's not that big of a deal. But it does kind of make it a little bit harder if you're trying to, you know, use Lavalunian or use Balloonian to farm, and you want to pick off buildings around the outside and stuff like that. But, you know, one air sweeper is not that big of a deal, but it does make shit hard. But 2 air sweepers now, 2 to 4 sides of a base can be covered by an air sweeper. You know, well, 2 or 3 or 4 can be covered, and you need to have, like, you know, with a Lavalunian attack or a Balloonian attack, you gotta attack 2 sides at the same time. So no matter which side you attack, one of those sides is probably going to be affected by that air sweeper. and it's going to make it so that, you know, bases now are going to be, okay, so, and again with the base that they showed in their example, is this that was a super easy, simple base to attack. Nowadays, and, you know, this is from my experience with, you know, pushing as the Town Hall 9 world record holder back in the day, bases now are a hell of a lot harder to attack. It just, the way that they're designed are, you know, it's anti-everything, right? You got anti-balloon bases, anti-lava-lunion bases, along with anti-go-wipe. You know, bases are created really well nowadays, and they're very hard to beat in general. Now that there's 2 air sweepers, people are going to set that up so that their bases are going to be literally impossible to defeat with an air attack, and I guarantee that. Supercell is probably thinking like, no, dude, this haste spell is going to help. No, I guarantee that you will not see high-level Balloonian and or Lava-Lunian attacks in the next month or so once people, like, you know, get their base configurations down in a way that the air sweepers cover a solid part of the base so that air attacks are useless. I guarantee that's going to happen, and we'll show examples of it when we get there in that time period. But for now, these are just basically my predictions. But honestly, I'm not hating on the haste spell or on the update. I like the haste spell. I like the idea of it. It's an awesome idea, awesome spell. The whole Dark Elixir spell concept is amazing, and I'm very glad they're putting it in this game. I just don't like how they're trying to use the haste spell to justify the new air sweeper that they're putting in the game that I don't think is necessary. So, I mean, if they're going to put a new fucking dragon level in the game and a new air sweeper, then we should get a new balloon level or a new minion level or a new air troop that can just combat that. Because I get the new air sweeper coming in for the dragon, because that new dragon is going to be powerful as hell. This base that you're looking at right now, this base, did get 3-starred by max dragons. It fucked me, right? So dragons are really good if used right. So with max dragons now being level 5, another level, they're just that much better. So I could see why you wanted a new air sweeper, but I mean, for attacks like Balloonian and Lava-Lunian, it is going to hurt. So that is my opinion. Talked a little bit too much there. But yeah, guys, that is kind of my thoughts on the haste spell and second air sweeper so far. So let's get to today's comment question of the day. Alright, so today's comment question of the day comes from Shawnee135, and the question is, do you think it would be cool if Supercell added a slow motion spell that would cost less than the free spell, and when deployed, would slow everything down for a certain amount of time? Now, I think that would be awesome, and that's another Dark Elixir spell idea for them, because with the new Dark Elixir spell factory, there's just endless ideas on spells and spell concepts that they could put into the game. And I think that would be an awesome one, and it would make sense because, you know, it costs less than a free spell because it does less than a free spell. All it does is just slow the defenses down instead of freezing them. But, I mean, that could be extremely helpful in a raid. It's just like the haste spell. I mean, there's already a rage spell in the game, but a haste spell, it's like the rage spell, but it's a little bit better in some aspects and a little bit worse in other aspects. But, I mean, you could bring more of them because it's a Dark Elixir spell. And that could be the same thing with this spell, like a slow motion spell, because it can be compared to the free spell. So, you know, it'd be better than the free spell in some aspects, you know, in the fact that you can bring more and the fact that it'd be cheaper. But it's worse than the free spell because obviously, you know, the free spell will freeze defenses and this will only slow them down. But I don't know, I thought that was a pretty cool idea. And again, guys, tell me your ideas and your concepts and all of your thoughts about this update in the comments and your comment question of the day. And also, guys, if you go down in the comments and you see a comment question of the day that you like, make sure to like it, comment on it, whatever, just so that it gets my attention so I can see it and answer it in the next video. And yeah, guys, that was it for today's video. Now, expect the update to come out tomorrow. I cannot wait, and I'm pretty sure it is coming out tomorrow because I don't see anything else that they really could release. I said that yesterday, though. I did say that yesterday, though, but my prediction is that the update is coming out tomorrow, so be ready, be prepared for it, guys, and I'll see you then. Love you all. Peace.
The pretty girls in class still, they never reply, but never say never, they never get caught on my mind. I'm trying to get better and grind, measure my effort and skill, gets better in time, fresher than ever, and I am who I am, no taking it back, I'm alive and well.